Sometime yesterday evening, there were a number of reports that surfaced in the British media about a very unfortunate incident in Barbados. And I'd like to ask the Honourable Attorney General and the Commissioner of Police, and if necessary, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, to address these issues, please.
In the last 2 days, the British media has published, both print and TV media has published a number of stories, one of which had as its headline, British mother of 3 murdered in Barbados after being doused and set on fire as she lay in her bed. Barbados prides itself, of course, as being a society that acknowledges and recognizes freedom of the press, but equally it is important for us to defend our reputation, not blindly, but in cases where it is appropriate to do so. The news stories are certainly being carried in a very important part of our tourism market, but whether it was there or anywhere else, it is important for us to let the interested parties know that the rule of law is prevailing in Barbados. I've therefore invited the Commissioner of Police to this particular press conference so that he could give a brief to the Barbadian media so that you will have an idea of the extent and the stage at which the current investigation has reached. But of course, whatever the circumstances, the loss of any life in Barbados, especially for someone who would have come to Barbados for something that we are best known for, a place to relax and to get away, whatever the circumstances, that loss of life is tragic. On behalf of, therefore, of the entire cabinet, the entire government and the people of Barbados, we especially want to extend our sympathy to the grieving family and friends both here and abroad. Over and apart from anything else that is being done in terms of an investigation, the Prime Minister, with the full support of Cabinet, has today given certain directions to demonstrate tangibly the support for the grieving relatives at this time, and details of that will probably be made available to the press by the BTMI. Commissioner?
My task is to provide you with a status report as to the investigation into the unnatural death of Natalie Critchlow. Natalie Critchlow, 44 years, a British national staying at Sergeant's Village, Christchurch. She was burnt in a house fire at the said Sergeant Village about 13:43 hours on July the 20th, 2019, and later succumbed to the injuries on August the 6th, 2019. The deceased arrived in Barbados on July the 15th to visit relatives and was staying at the residence of her brother, Ashton Clark, who is ill and has been staying in a nursing home. This residence is of wooden construction and is enclosed at the rear on 3 sides with a corrugated galvanized fence over 8 feet height. This is adjoined to the front by a chain link fence and gate. The corrugated fence has a sole gate on the eastern side, which is secured from within the yard. On the day in question, about 12:15 hours, she video called Linda Beaumont, who was visiting Barbados from England along with the deceased son, Raoul. She gave Linda directions to her residence, and at the time, according to Ms. Beaumont, the deceased was in her kitchen preparing meals for them. Sometime after 1 o'clock, Linda Beaumont called her back, mistakenly thinking that the deceased had again called her. About 13:43 hours, suddenly the house went up in flames, with the seat of the fire being concentrated in the kitchen area. The fire rapidly engulfed the house and and workmen on a nearby house quickly sprang into action to assist. They broke away a sheet of galvanized from the yard to gain entry and assisted in getting the deceased, who was found in the yard, badly burnt. The ambulance was summoned and she was taken to the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. Investigations to date have focused on closed-circuit television from an adjacent house, and this is of very high quality. Examination of this footage has clearly demonstrated that no one entered those premises for hours prior to the fire taking place. The corrugated fence was fully intact, apart from the sheet that was removed to provide access to the victim. The footage shows that the fire originated in the area of the kitchen, and was concentrated there. The side of a saucepan was completely burnt away, leaving the bottom of the remnants of food. At the bottom, the remnants of food. 2 gas bottles were found in the kitchen area, one with no negligible damage, and the other having the area where the gas head normally connects the bottle, melted. The victim's clothing was taken away to be examined forensically for any traces of accelerant. The scenes of crime officers indicated that there was no smell of accelerant in the house or on the clothing of the victim. House-to-house inquiries have been conducted and are persisting in the Sergeant Village area. Statements have been obtained from a number of witnesses, also from the electrician who removed the corrugated sheet to free the victim. The occupants of the premises from where the CCTV footage was obtained were interviewed. Rumors have been circulating to the effect that a man who once lived at the said house might be involved in the death. This man was identified and interviewed along with the brother of the deceased, and to date there is nothing to suggest that he had any involvement in this matter. A post-mortem was conducted and the death was attributed to infections from the burns. The victim was never interviewed by the police in this matter, given her condition at the time. Investigations are continuing. Efforts are being pursued to gather information in relation to the victimology. This matter is being treated as an unnatural death, and intense investigations are ongoing. At this stage, there is nothing to indicate that there was an intruder at such premises. Yeah, the fire, as I said, was concentrated in the kitchen area for most of the time, and not in the bedroom area of the house.